All right, so did anybody look at the video of the meeting on Monday to see if it worked? Yeah? No? Okay. If you do, just if you look there and then if anything is wrong, let me know and I'll re-upload it again. I took some chunks out, but so that if you're not here, you can take a look at it. Anything else? Everybody, how about staying on task? Like, how many of you are done chapter 3, kind of almost done, or not, are having a tough time? Yeah, okay. Some thumbs up, some, okay. All right, that's why we have the flexibility built in. I'm gonna, on my end, with those of you that are able to stay on task, and not on task, on track, with the initial schedule, I'm gonna keep putting up the videos. So I've got videos for chapter 4 this week. Now, chapter 4 is, in the actual book, is multiplication. So just like what we did with addition and subtraction, we're going to look at some contexts around which multiplication, within which multiplication happens, right? So the kids can understand from experience that, oh, this context is a multiplication versus not an addition comparison, right? So for example, if, I have 5 times as many cookies as you, that's a multiplication situation, versus I have 5 more cookies than you, where that's an addition situation. So that's the, they need to be able to recognize that. So there are 3 main contexts for multiplication, and we look through that as well. So right now the videos are up until section 4.5. So we look at multiplication, we look at the context, we look at some multiplication rules, some properties like commutative, distributive, associative, and I will be posting the section 4.5, which is the last section, today, probably later tonight, okay? So that you should, by the end of today, you should have all those videos to look at. Okay, so to stay on track for this week, or to kind of catch up for last week, remember you're doing the activities on your own, then you're, whatever you know from before, whatever you can think of, this is kind of like a brain dump. And then, kiddo, what are you doing? Go back to class.
There's 15 minutes left.
Hey, go back to class.
Okay.
So, and then you're looking at the videos, right? Taking more notes, going through the activities, you're reading the book, and then back to the activities, and then you can have some problems in the book sections to solve. Okay, so that should have you more than ready for for the final exam, which is, as you remember, it's at home, obviously, take home, stay home, final exam with open book, and but you will have a limited amount of time. Okay, and most of the questions will be similar to the questions in the book in the end of the chapter. Okay, so go through those. Those are the questions that don't have answers. So make sure you go through those, make sure you've thought about them. If you have any questions, ask me, so that we can be ready for that. I don't want any surprises for anybody on the final exam. Okay. How is I know the assignment, I know it's a couple of weeks out, but has anybody looked at the assignment? The description of the assignment? Some of you guys are done, because there was, the original deadline was earlier. So if you're done, that's great, just submit it. But you do have until the 20th to finish that up. Okay. So let's make sure that for next Monday, if you haven't looked at the assignment yet, do that and start getting into it. And if there are any problems or questions about it, let me know, and we'll talk about it on Monday, okay, during our next meeting. All right. Any questions? Yeah, Hadley.
Can I ask, like, for you to go over one of the questions, like,
Yeah.
in the activities? Does that work?
Yeah.
So I was
Which
wondering
question?
if you could go over question number 4 in activity 3K. It's like talking about like the expanded forms. I mean, it also had it in 3J, also number 4, and like I just wasn't completely sure on those. And I was wondering if maybe you could like just like explain it or walk me through it.
Yeah, this one I think might require some writing. So you know what I'm gonna do is today after this, literally after this class, I'm gonna record an explanation for it on video the way I normally do, and I'll post it. Is
Okay,
that okay?
awesome.
The
Yeah, thank
general,
you.
in general, what I think what this is doing is it's giving you a different, sorry for you guys that you can't, if you can't, oh, excellent. Yeah, that's working. Okay, so it's asking you to subtract 68 from 125, but in the format of expanded notation. So the reason I skipped it on the video is because the expanded notation is not something that we are focusing on in the abstract kind of writing out the number sentences. It's the same concept though that we do when we're preparing, when we're regrouping in base 10 blocks, or when we're preparing to subtract using the question one, right? The form in question one. So we said we're going to, instead of having 5 ones, we're going to break up or regroup one of the tens. So we're going to have 15 ones instead. So you would when you rewrite that in uh, in expanded notation, you would probably say, and this is why I want to record it for you, you would probably say 12 tens plus 5 ones, right? So 12 times 10 plus 5 times 1. And then you would need to regroup one of those tens and split it up into ones. So you would say 11 times 10 plus 15 ones. So that would be what you would be subtracting from. So 11 times 10 plus 15 times 1. And if you have 15 ones minus 8 ones, you can do that. And if you have 11 tens minus 6 tens, you can do that too, right? But it's the same kind of thinking that we were doing in questions 1 and 2, just written out in a slightly different way. And because this is just about the writing, I'll record a video of that and put it up.
Okay, thank you. That makes more sense.
Great. Any other questions? I'll just write down, so 3K, 4. Okay. Everybody else is okay? So what's the most, so last week we talked about what's been working well. What's the most challenging thing that you find right now? If anybody has identified one thing that they're really struggling with, not that it's not working, but struggling to overcome. Like, I really have to, psych myself up to do this every day, or to do school every day, that kind of stuff, right? What's the most challenging thing that's happening? Anybody can unmute and let me know. Rebecca, sorry, say that again.
It's just trying to make sure I'm in the focus to do schoolwork. That can sometimes be hard because I'm still working. So when I come home from work, I want to be doing schoolwork sometimes. So I just have to remember to get it done.
Yeah, it's tough, right? To make sure to balance, because the balance has shifted too. We aren't able to continue in the kind of pattern, the kind of habits that we've had before. So it's all, creation of brand new habits. It's really hard. Yeah. All right. What else is anything else that's hard or that's challenging?
I think that it's challenging.
Yeah, Amanda.
I think it's also hard because like the other classes that I have are also putting out a lot of independent.
Hello.
Hi. To keep track of all the assignments at once.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Is there anything I can help with that? Anything I can do to help us set up the course in different ways?
Is actually the most organized with resources and stuff.
Okay. So it's whatever we're doing is working. Think about if there's anything that comes up that I can do to help that, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any others challenges? Hi, Jason. Jake, yeah.
So it's probably a stupid one, but all the assignments, are they on the timeline, or is it
So let's go back to, let me share a screen and take you to our Piazza. They're all on Piazza. Excuse me. Share screen. Where is Piazza? Oh, there we go. All right. So can you see my screen with the Piazza?
Yeah.
You guys are good? All right. So under our Piazza resources, if you click here, so the current timeline is where the schedule is. So if you go to the current timeline, it'll download what you need to see, and it'll show you our kind of best guess at the schedule for the next for the rest of the semester. So starting this week, we're focusing on chapter 4, or catching up on anything done before if you haven't had a chance to finish that. And these are the times during which we meet. So the Monday class time is when we all meet together, and then the Tuesday and Friday is if you need help or if you have specific questions. So
are we turning any of this in, or is it just on your own?
No, at this point, this is on your own. There are 2 things that will be turned in. One is the assignment 2 due on the 20th. And so let me just open that again. On December 20th, there's assignment 2. That's also posted on Piazza. And then the final exam.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So then the Monday meeting videos are here. All of the activities are scanned in for you. And what happens with the activities, let's say for number 4, I will highlight in green the activities that we are going to focus on, and not highlight for the activities that I think are not as essential, that are kind of supplementary. So we're going to skip those. Okay. So anything that's highlighted in green, and these are starting to look like question marks. They're actually exclamation points. So those are the things that we're going to focus on, that I have answers to. If you look at the activity solution videos or here instructor videos, oh, I didn't put up the chapter 4 here. But anyway, if we look at the activity solution videos, that's my YouTube channel, and you will see that we have 112 Beckman chapter 4, 112 Monday meetings, 112 chapter 3, right, etc. So you can look through those, and let's say this is chapter 4. There is a list of activities and my explanations of activities on the right. Those are all of the activities that are highlighted in green. Okay. So, and I just forgot to put the link to chapter 4 here. I'll do that. The textbook chapters I've also scanned in, and they're here. And the assignment 2, letter to the colleague, is here. The link is there. All right, Jake, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Any other questions? Yeah, Adley.
This doesn't relate exactly to like our class specifically, but moving forward for like next semester, should we take 113 before we take 114 of this math, or does it not really matter?
Good question. This is the time for advising, right? So I always, when we're in class, I always have this discussion with students. So as C- in this course, and there's going to be a communication in terms of pass-fail with you guys. There's still a discussion going on, and I know that that a lot of the students signed a petition, and it really got the conversation going. So it was a really good way to communicate. So once that decision comes out, there may be qualifications to this, but on a normal semester, a C- in this course will open up either 113 or 114 for you. Those 2 are not related within each other. Are you done? Sorry. Are you guys done? Don't do that. That's probably really hurting my students' ears. Are you done? Okay. Okay, kiddo, can you talk to Daddy? Because right now he's gonna. All right. So, so it's gonna open up 112, 113, and 114 for you. 113 is probability, geometry, statistics, and measurement, and 114 is algebraic reasoning. You can take them in any order. In terms, I just wanted to let you know that I'm not sure if it's actually up yet, but I've asked for a online 114 section for summer 1. So I thought that there wasn't a 114 for summer 1, and I thought that might be a good opportunity if for some of you, if you have that extra time and you want to get another course under your belt over the summer, if in a virtual format. So there's a 112 also. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Everybody okay?
No.
All right. Okay. So if there's nothing else, remember, don't forget about the Tuesday evening and the Friday office hour drop-in, whatever, ask me questions. What I do is I just have the Zoom room open with my headset, and whenever somebody comes in, it bings. So if for some reason I'm not hearing you, you can just come in and unmute yourself and just call me, right? And then that'll tune it. That may register a little bit better than the ding sometimes. So depending on what's going on in the house. All right, but I am there, and it's on, same login, same everything. Oh, the other thing is, I don't know if you had to type it in. Actually, let me ask you guys, did you have to type a password in? No and yes. Wow. Okay, for some of you, yes, for some of you, no. So there was a, for cybersecurity, Zoom was getting compromised, and there were some people butting into open meetings, writing some really nasty stuff on the whiteboards and all that stuff. So Zoom has now made the password default. So the password for our course for the rest of the semester is PSABIN 20. So it's going to be in, I've kind of sent that to you in the invitation, and I think I've put it up on the link. If not, I'll check. So, but whenever you need to get in, just PSABIN 20, and that'll get you in. Okay. I'm surprised that some of you guys didn't have to do that this time, but maybe because you've already been here. So, all right. Okay, any other questions, comments, concerns, ideas? Everybody good? All right. Well, have an awesome rest of the week and stay on top of this. I know it's kind of hard. I'm giving you a ton of kind of flexibility, and that's by design, but try not to fall back. If you do, just come back and chat with me, and we'll figure out a way to get you back on track. We'll figure out a schedule. Okay? All right. Okay. All right, guys. Have a good week, and you can sign out whenever you're good.
No, today is.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yep. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you didn't do reading before.